Hello, I'm Dr. Trevor Price and thanks for tuning in to my First Class University channel. This video is all about planning your revision so you can pass your exams with first class grades. A revision plan is really important because it ensures that you are paying attention to all the subjects that you need to cover during the exam. And this is crucial because it makes you think back to what you've learnt during the course, but also importantly, what you don't quite yet understand. There might be some gaps in your knowledge. And also thinking ahead to perhaps it's a couple of weeks, 2 or 3 weeks when you have a number of exams during that 3 or 2 week period, and thinking about all the different subjects that are going to be in those exams, when those exams are, the exact dates and times of those exams, so you can look ahead and think how much time you've got to pay to your exam revision schedule. So obviously the key thing to think about are the subjects that are being examined and how good or not so good your knowledge and understanding in those subjects are. So you might like to put more time where you have gaps in your knowledge during your revision schedule. You might think, well, these subjects I feel quite comfortable with, but perhaps I need to put in a little bit more time just to finesse and hone my understanding and abilities in those areas. And perhaps there's another sort of third sub-list of subjects where you feel very confident, you understand them fully, and so you don't really need to pay much exam revision time to those subjects at all. Also, think about the exams that you have and their duration. The duration helps you understand how much effort you need to put into answering those questions in those exams, and therefore the effort you need to put in to succeed in passing, and hopefully more than passing, the exams as well. It also kind of indicates the depth, how deep you have to go into the subject, and the breadth of knowledge that you need to cover in your exam revision. So that's the kind of width and the amount of different subjects that are likely to come up in that exam. Obviously, if your exam is going to take half an hour compared to a 3-hour exam, you're going to have 6 times more knowledge to evidence that you understand and you've learnt about in the longer exam there. Also think about the format of your exams. Are they going to be a handwritten exam where you have to go to perhaps an exam hall, sit there for a couple of hours during the exam and handwrite your answers in that exam? Are they going to be an online written exam where you'll have to perhaps set up specific software and equipment at home, and at a specific time on a specific day log into an exam system run by your university and complete the exam in a specified time? Or perhaps you have an oral exam whereby you have to speak and give a kind of presentation or answer questions that are asked of you orally. So think about the physicality of that, any special equipment you might need, for example a laptop. Perhaps you have to download monitoring software onto your computer if your university is doing that for your exams. Think about your physical and mental abilities. If you're facing the challenge of perhaps several 3-hour exams, think about how you can improve your performance in terms of your physical performance. You're going to have to sit at that table for 3 hours and handwrite your answers. How is your hand? How are your arms? How is your body going to cope with that? And schedule some time to practice and rehearse that so your body gets used to it and you use the muscles in your hands and your arms, and your handwriting gets better, more legible and neater and clearer. And think about the mental challenge of sitting there and answering questions under what could be quite a stressful situation, and what you can do to minimize that stress during that exam. So for example, you can practice during your revision time, and the more you practice, the more confident, the more comfortable you get, and so your anxiety reduces as a result. Think about the exam venue. Where is it going to be held? It's going to be different if it's an online exam compared to a physical exam room, where perhaps you have to go to a special exam centre that's nearby, or perhaps far away from where you are currently. So think about any access requirements you need to actually enable you to get into that exam building. Think about how you're going to get there in the first place. Are you going to use public transport? Are you going to walk? Are you going to use a car? I've already mentioned the date and time of your exam, but if you've got several exams coming up over a relatively short period of a few days or a couple of weeks, think about the dates and times of all those exams in the entirety of your exam calendar, and plan your revision accordingly. But also don't forget to take some breaks as well to refresh, recharge and re-energize yourself in order for you to answer those exam questions well. But then also go into the exam with the confidence that you understand and you can provide evidence to the exam marker that you understand what the questions are asking of you. So the last thing, and probably the most important thing to cover in your exam revision, is the knowledge levels that you have in the subjects that are going to be examined. Only you will know how comfortable you are and how able you are to answer the exam questions on those particular subjects that are covered in the curriculum, in the course that you've been studying. And so you need to refresh yourself, go back right to the beginning of the subject matter, work through it, identify any gaps, and your revision should ideally plug those knowledge gaps before the exam happens, so you can go into the exam and you feel confident and able and really in a great position to do really well in that exam. So if you follow those points, I'm sure any anxiety or stress that you may have thinking about exams that are looming will dissolve, and I'm sure you'll do really, really great. So thanks very much for watching this. If you've liked this film, please give me a thumbs up, give me a like in the comments below. Ask me any questions in the comments below this film. There are some links coming up to other videos that might be useful in your study skills. My First Class University channel has many films that help students like you pass with first class degrees. So thanks very much, subscribe, and I'll see you around. Bye now.